Hey y'all, it's Leo. I'm coming back with another video, and I just want to give you some encouragement today because I'm just noticing a pattern, just not even only in my own life, just around me. And this is a pattern that has occurred multiple times, and it'll keep coming up, and it's pretty much change. And so I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys because I know it's a lot of people out there that, they're scared of change. They don't know what to do. They're afraid to let go of one thing, or that they just got their grip on this one thing so tight they just don't want to let it go. And it's just important for you to know that you really should practice. You really should practice ebb and flow, which is releasing to receive. It's change. That's what it is. So I want to talk a little bit deeper on this because I feel it's a topic that it's talked about, but it can be talked about a little more and a little deeper. So I want to give you guys this idea of okay, imagine when things are about to change because what used to work for you is not working anymore. It's just not working anymore. I could give an example in my own personal life. There's been times when, or just in my previous relationship, our relationship was going very smooth, and then all of a sudden it just went downhill really fast, right? And I'm gonna use this example because it's a perfect example of when you know it's time to change and you fight the change. You fight to keep it from changing. And so in my relationship, it started off really good. It was very passionate, we were doing really well. All of a sudden, everything went down real fast. I should have left. I should have gone ahead and got my shit together, right? I didn't. I stayed down in the lows, right? And at that time, my mindset was, well, if I stick with him, even in the lows, we'll get through it, and we can't stay down here forever, which is true. Whenever you're having change, there's going to be highs and lows. It's the ebb and flow. But after that period of lows that we had experienced, we're doing good again. Back on my feet, I'm thriving. I'm doing stuff to educate myself and really chase after, something more than I had a shift in perspective. Yeah. And that on its own is part of the ebb and flow. Even if you can only shift your perspective, y'all, something needs to change. Even if, okay, say you're in a position where, like I was, you're in this relationship, you're in it for the long run, and maybe, or whatever it is, you just don't want to change what's happening. Or you can't change what's happening. If you can't or you won't change what's happening, but it's not working for you anymore, what you can do is change your perspective on it. And so at the end of the day, that's still change. It's a step towards change, I made the wrong turn. That's okay. It's a step towards change, and the whole point of it all is to flow with your change, because at the end of the day, change is going to bring you where you're meant to go. So if you're not meant to be in that relationship, even that change of perspective, maybe you might have stayed with that person a little longer, but eventually it's not gonna work out. And I'm just telling you guys what happened from my own story, right? So a change of perspective I had. And I'm doing better. I'm doing better with this change of perspective. But it was a cycle of highs and lows, right? So we got a high, and then we hit another low. And if your change in perspective isn't working, maybe you need to change in action. And it's really all about, it's really just the ebb and flows. It's try one thing, release one thing, receive another thing. I hope that it's not too dark, y'all. The sun is going down, and I just parked because I'm about to go in here and get some water. But it's the ebb and flow. If one thing's not working for you, switch it up. Release that one thing. Release that one thing and be open to another thing. I use my own personal life as an example, but really, this can be anything in life, y'all. Anything at all. Whether you're just shifting perspective, whether you're shifting a job, whether you're shifting a relationship, whether you're shifting locations, whatever it is for you. If you're making a physical move, or you're making a spiritual move, or you're making a mental move, or you're making an emotional move, or you're making a financial move, the whole point is, I want to encourage you guys not to fight it, because what happens when you fight the change, what happens when you fight change is it ends up biting you in the ass. Like, that's just the quick summary of it. I'll give you an example of when I tried to fight the change, right? Now, I just gave you guys the example of me trying to shift my mind, but in that same time of me trying to shift it, it was really me trying to figure out different ways to make that relationship work. So I tried changing my perspective. I tried doing things differently. I tried working on myself. I tried doing more, giving more to a person. I tried backing up and doing less, because I've always been such an independent person. So I tried allowing them to be more of the masculine role and take care of some things. And at the end of the day, what wasn't meant to work didn't work. It just didn't work. And so that's what I mean by it's gonna bite you in the ass, because you can try, if it's a change, and in your heart of heart, in the deepest core of your heart that, let's say for example, in the deepest core of your heart that you and this person is not meant to work out, but you keep trying to adjust yourself to figure out different ways that this can work out, but that it's not going to work out. At the end of the day, you're really just hurting yourself. I want to give you this analogy now that I'm saying this, because it's making me think of, there's a time that when I like to go fishing, right? I like to take my little fishing pole to a pond, because it's easier for me in the pond. There's no flow, so it's easier for me to go throw my fishing pole out there and fish. Like, I'm a beginner fisher. I don't know how to fish where there's a stream or whatever. I don't know how to do that. But there's this one time I went to Kenosha to go fish in this pond, and it was like everywhere I tried to throw my hook out, it wasn't working. And the water was just too shallow. And I was trying to find different spots. I thought maybe it's just the spot that I was at. It was a big pond, so I tried walking around the pond, found a different spot. I couldn't find a spot. Every spot that I tried was shallow. I tried adjusting my weights and my bobber to see if that might help. Maybe if I made it a little shorter in this shallow pond, then I can go fishing. That didn't work. It was too shallow. The pond was way too shallow. So it was like no amount of adjusting that I could have done would have been good enough for me to fish in that pond because it was just too shallow. And so if you think about it as a relationship, even if you try to adjust yourself in a relationship and you know that it's not going to work, it's too shallow or whatever the reason, it's just not going to work. What I had to do when I realized this is just not going to work is I had to make a decision at that moment. Am I going to keep trying to fish at this pond that I know I can't fish at because it's too shallow? Or am I going to pack up and go somewhere else? So, and I want to just say, I could have kept trying. I could have kept trying because, I was already there. I'm already experiencing this. I drove so many miles to get to that pond. I literally worked, y'all. I literally worked to get to that pond. I bought the what do you call it? I bought the bait. I looked for that pond. I searched that pond out. And I was so excited to go to that pond. I was so excited to go to that pond. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. So I could have kept trying because I put so much work into that. And I could have kept thinking, oh, I already put so much work in it. It's going to have to work. I'm going to find it somehow. It's going to work. I could have. Or I could have realized this ain't going to work. And I could have moved on. Either way, I had to make a decision. And that's the same thing for you. And it might be a decision that maybe you're not familiar with, maybe you're not too comfortable with. But that one decision that you might have to make might be the change that you need to flow with. It might be the letting go of what you're familiar with to be open to something new. And maybe even, I want to say this too, because I'm using a lot of analogies, and I hope that you're able to take what I'm saying and just apply it to what makes sense in your life. But maybe it might be even that you're not completely aware of what that new thing is. Maybe you don't know what it is yet, but the fact that you're able to let go of what's no longer serving you, what's old, what's done with, what's used, the fact that you can let that go is opening you up. It's opening you up for that new thing. So when it does come, even if you're not aware of it now, when it does come, you may be able to receive it in that moment. Realize too that I know, because I'm a person like this, and I think most humans are like this. We try to plan and prep for, the unexpected. We try to plan ahead, especially as an adult. You just never know so many things. But a lot of things you can plan and prep for, but there's a lot that happens. There's a lot that happens in the moment, in the part that you don't even get to see. The next step, what's right in front of you is the next step. It might be literally you looking at it. You're looking at it right in front of you. It might be the next step, and you don't even realize it because you're holding on to all these things from the past. So I'm just saying, this word was meant to be encouraging to you to not fight the change, but flow with it. Don't fight the change, but ride that change. Ride it to where it's taking you, to your destiny, not your fate. I'm gonna make a video about the difference between destiny and fate if you don't know. If you are interested, actually, if you're interested in knowing the difference between destiny and fate, make sure you comment in the comments down below. Let me know that you're interested in that, and I'll make that video ASAP Rocky, okay? I'll make that just for you. Just let me know, though. Let me know, okay? And I also really appreciate if you go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.